Hello. I am so excited to dive into today's training with you all. As you start to come into the room, please drop your name, where you're from, your Instagram handle. Let's start to get to know each other a little bit better. All right, friends. Well, we have a lot to cover today, so I hope that you are ready to dive on in. Today, we are going to be talking about how you can turn your sales onto autopilot as an e-commerce business. Before we jump into all of the goodness that today has to offer, like I said, drop your name, your Instagram handle in the chat, where you're from. We want to start to get to know you better, but also let's eliminate any distractions that might be around you. Put your phone on silent, pour yourself a warm cup of coffee, and grab your notebook, because today we are going to be diving into some really juicy stuff. At the end of this training, I'm going to be introducing you all to the PIN method, and everyone who stays on until the end will be able to receive $1,000 in additional bonuses. We're only making these available to you if you're on this call. So if you've been interested in the PIN method, definitely stay until the end so you can capture $1,000 additional dollars in bonuses. As we dive through this training, if you have an aha moment, please share and tag us on Instagram so we can feature you. We love being able to connect with you and really share your wins with our audience, because you might have heard something in a completely different way compared to other people. So this is one of the reasons why we love being able to share your wins and your light bulb moments. You can connect with us over on Instagram at Let's Get Social Agency. So what can you expect over the next 45 minutes? Today we're going to be diving into 2021 Pinterest updates, best practices in 2021, how to grow your Pinterest account, how to generate more qualified traffic through Pinterest. We're going to dive into Pinterest SEO, and then we're going to get to the really juicy stuff. And that is how you can start to generate sales with Pinterest, how you can really put your sales on autopilot so you can start working on your business, not in it. Before we dive in, just like you've been introducing yourself in the chat, I want to take a couple seconds and introduce myself. So how did I get started? Back in 2014, there was a huge need in the Pinterest marketing space to help startups. See, there were a lot of big agencies and freelancers, but there seemed to be this missing piece: affordable Pinterest marketing with an agency that was focused on driving sales for their clients. So that's all fine and dandy, but why should you take my advice today? See, over the last 4 years, we've utilized Pinterest to generate an upwards of 150 orders each month for one client. We've been able to hit consistent 5- and 6-figure sales months for our e-commerce clients and build an audience of over 18 million users and counting. Now, give me a heck yes in the chat if you are so done with fighting an algorithm. You're exhausted at the thought of continually creating new content that only drives traffic for a few hours, and you're ready to start working on your business, not inside it. And you are in the right place if you're excited about creating content that will generate traffic and sales for you year over year. If that's getting you really excited about this training today, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat. You're also in the right place if you are excited about reaching 450 million new customers. If that is lighting you up, drop a 2 in the chat. And if you are excited about being able to create less and work on growing your business more, go ahead and drop a 3 in the chat. So why should you care about Pinterest? See, Pinterest allows you to be in control of your leads. It also allows you to do less and be more effective. And Pinterest allows you to create less content and generate more sales. That's what we all want, isn't it? See, not only is Pinterest an online space for users to find new products, ideas, and inspiration, but half of US users, that's over 200 million users, are also using Pinterest to shop. So through the correct keywords, your brand has the opportunity to be seen by millions of your ideal customers. I don't know about you guys, but that gets me really, really fired up about Pinterest. See, there are over 400 million monthly Pinterest users worldwide, and they're all seeking and sharing helpful, inspiring ideas on the platform. So using Pinterest for your business is a perfect way to showcase products and services, as Pinterest often acts as an information resource for so many customers before they make a purchase. And with 40% of Pinterest users having a household income of $100,000 or more, there's a huge audience with a strong spending power that's simply waiting to be introduced to your business. There's also a lot of power behind using Pinterest to drive traffic to your site. Let's just take a look at some of these mind-blowing facts. See, a pin is 100 times more spreadable than your average tweet. Each pin can drive at a minimum 2 page visits and 6 page views. E-commerce sites benefit from pinning, as each pin can generate 78 cents. And the life of a pin can last up to a year. We have clients who have created pins 3 years ago, and they are still generating traffic and sales today. And when you compare that to 24 minutes for a tweet and an hour and a half for a Facebook post, I hope you're starting to see the power behind utilizing Pinterest for your business. So we know why Pinterest is powerful, but in order for us to really get the most that we possibly can out of Pinterest, it's important that we're aware of some of the updates that have been taking place last year and this year. See, with this huge growth that Pinterest has been experiencing, they are really wanting businesses to create fresh content. And that is why we are seeing a heavy push for fresh pins. What's a fresh pin? That simply means that you are creating a new pin with a brand new graphic, image, playing with the colors, but you are really inspiring the audience in a new way. You're not focusing on repinning, you're focusing on your own original content. Idea pins are taking Pinterest by storm. With the rollout of idea pins, Pinterest has also rolled out following streams. So this is a place for pinners to see new ideas from the brands that they follow and love, as well as having additional new brands suggested to them based off of their searches. As we start to dive into Pinterest more, you're going to kind of start to see a common trend. And that's that Pinterest isn't operating off of an algorithm of somebody getting more engagement than the other, but they're operating off of keywords, and your idea pins work the exact same. We've also seen that Pinterest wants us to take a fresh idea, a fresh outlook on maybe an old trend, and easy ways to discover new products through the shopping tab. This has been a huge win for e-commerce businesses, because now the pinners can easily shop exactly what they're looking for. And when you create the correct type of pin, your content is not only going to be showing up inside of searches, but it's also going to be showing up inside of the shopping tab. With all of these changes, especially with the push to fresh pins and fresh content, there's kind of been this general question: in the Pinterest space. And that is, should you use Tailwind for your business? Should you use Tailwind to create your pins and schedule them out? So will Tailwind still grow your Pinterest? Yes, it will still grow your Pinterest, but it's going to be a really slow burn. See, our team has been testing since November of 2020 the difference between uploading content inside of Tailwind versus uploading it inside of the Pinterest platform. And pins that are uploaded inside of the Pinterest platform are receiving 5 times more engagement than those through Tailwind. So what we've seen is it's not that Tailwind won't grow your brand and your Pinterest account, it's just that Pinterest and Tailwind are having a really hard time talking to each other. So how should you be scheduling out your content, and what can you use instead of Tailwind? We love teaching our students inside of the pin method how to utilize the tools that Pinterest gives you to schedule out pins inside of the platform to be able to really set it and forget it. So what about Tailwind Smart Loops? So Tailwind Smart Loops used to be a powerful way to get your really popular pins and content in front of new people by basically repinning your own content over and over again. With the push to fresh content and fresh pins, we're suggesting to all of our students and clients to stay away from Smart Loops. Smart Loops is a great tool, but you do not want to run the risk of having your account associated as a spam account. So as a general best practice, we are really suggesting to focus more on idea pins and creating and scheduling content inside of the Pinterest platform. Now, we know that Pinterest has been growing. They've actually gained over 250 million additional users in the last year. But before you start spending all this time creating content, really coming up with a clear Pinterest plan, it's important to ask yourself, is your customer on Pinterest? See, with over 450 million Pinterest users, it's safe to assume that your ideal customer is on Pinterest. But before you start creating content, let's review a few things just to double check that your customer is there. So the first thing you're going to want to do is dive into your Pinterest trends. This is going to tell you the trends that are taking place on Pinterest, what actual Pinterest users are searching for inside of the platform. And this is going to give you so much insight to see if your customer is there, if your product can serve the audience that's already on Pinterest. And then you're going to take it a step further and dive into your Pinterest customer insights. This is actually inside of the analytics dashboard. It's going to tell you what your customers are engaging with your content or on the entire Pinterest platform. And then Pinterest Predicts is a free document that Pinterest puts out at the end of every previous year for the upcoming year. And what they do is they predict the upcoming trends for that year, what's going to be popular, and really give you some insight into how you can create content that not only gets in front of the right people, but it's going to drive sales. Okay, so we know that Pinterest is powerful. We've talked through all of the reasons why it is. You know how to discover if your ideal customer is on Pinterest. Now let's dive in and see if your account is optimized. See, Pinterest is an SEO-driven platform, which means that we need to have the correct keywords in the right spots so our brand, our products, and our account can be seen. So where should you be putting these keywords? We always suggest having a keyword in your title and then in your bio, making sure that your bio is set up for success because your bio is actually searchable as well. So this is going to be an amazing way for you to show up in front of the correct searches. And then asking yourself, are your boards complete? Have you built out the descriptions? Is it clear to the user what they can really discover inside of that board? Which brings us to one of our clients that I'm so excited to tell you about, and that is Carolina Leg. See, Carolina Leg, they create farmhouse table legs. So who are they targeting? They are utilizing Pinterest to target do-it-yourself projects. They supply the legs, you build the table. When they came to our team, they were really just utilizing Pinterest in a casual way, driving people to their blog posts, but there wasn't really any strategy, especially around the proper keywords. 60 days into working with our team, their website became one of the top 10 visited sites on all of Shopify. Not only that, but their sales went from being completely dependent on Instagram to being driven by Pinterest. We came up with a keyword strategy, and this is everything that we teach you inside of the pin method, but we came up with this strategy to make sure that they were talking to the right customer. Because when you can get your content in front of the right customer, that's how you're really going to create sales on autopilot. So how do we do this? How do we generate more traffic? And it really boils down to three main aspects. And that is creating keyword-driven pins. So we know where we need to put our keywords inside of our bio, inside of our profile itself, but we also need to make sure that we're adding the correct keywords to our pins. We are seeing Pinterest push out idea pins harder than ever. But idea pins still operate with keywords. So utilizing keywords and having them fit into your overall strategy is going to get more people, more qualified users over to your site. And focusing on engagement. So at the end of the day, Pinterest traffic is categorized inside of Google Analytics as organic traffic. So the more organic traffic we can get to your site, the higher you're going to rank inside of Google. And the higher you rank inside of Google, the more eyes on your content. And the more eyes we can get on your content, the more potential sales you are going to have running in. So Pinterest is an SEO-driven platform, but what really are keywords? I want to walk through this example of keywords with you so you can really have a clear understanding of how to find the correct keywords, where to put them, and tools we utilize to find these keywords. So we know that the entire platform operates off of keywords, and let's go ahead and walk through one of the three ways that we teach our students how to find the correct keywords, and that is through the guided search. So let's say that you are selling black leather sandals. See, over on the left-hand side, there's this perfect example of how we can start to find the exact keywords and searches that our ideal customers are putting into Pinterest. So when we start to type in black leather sandals, you're going to see that some options around flats, outfits are all starting to pop up. We're also seeing searches around black leather sandals for summer, high heels, and flats. What's important to note is that these are the exact keywords that pinners are putting into Pinterest. This is how easy it is to find keywords on Pinterest. Now, what's really important to remember is that you're only using imagery related to the actual pin that you're putting out there. So I don't want you guys to see all of these keywords popping up and think, oh, I just got to use them all. We really just want to use what's related to our actual product. So how can you start to find the right keywords for your brand? You're going to start by using that guided search, and it's also known as the Smart Search tool. You're going to then take those keywords and you're going to put them into your bio, your board title and descriptions, your profile name, your pin graphics, your pin title, and your pin description. See, since Pinterest is an SEO-driven platform, Pinterest can actually read the text on your graphics. So it's important that we have the proper keywords and call to actions on these graphics as well. Once you've done some of that heavy lifting inside of Pinterest, we like to also take those keywords and drop them into keysearch.co. This is going to give you an even longer list of keywords as well as Pinterest suggestions to really help you automate the process. Okay, guys, now it's time for us to dive into growing your Pinterest account. We understand Pinterest SEO. We know why Pinterest is important. Now let's talk about how you can start to really grow your account, get more eyes on your brand. And this is boiling down to a lot of factors, but I really want to dive into idea pins with you because you see, Pinterest is pushing idea pins hard, and that's great, but we're also seeing a lot of our clients drive conversions through idea pins. So we know that they're powerful for generating sales as an e-commerce business. So what is an idea pin? And an idea pin is a pin with multiple images and videos attached to it. It's very different from your typical pin that you just upload and you're not actually editing that photo or graphic itself. See, with idea pins, we can kind of think of them as this amazing combination between Instagram stories, Instagram reels, and we're creating this content that is going to be long-lasting, savable, and our users can continue to see it for weeks and months and years to come. It's not just this like little short, gone in an instant type of content. Instead, they continue to last for a long time, sharing new ideas, and they're not these fleeting stories. You might be sitting there thinking, okay, that's great. I understand that idea pins are powerful and that I should care about them, but how do they actually work? So with idea pins, instead of pinning just a single image, each story can have up to 20 pages of actual content. So in other words, a single idea pin can include a lot more of inspiration and ideas than a regular pin. At the end of the day, people are on Pinterest looking for inspiration and ideas. Therefore, idea pins have been a powerhouse for showing behind the scenes of your brand, how your products work, how-to tutorials, and really walking your user through your products in a completely different way, kind of like in an immersive fashion. Now, I understand that idea pins can still be a little bit confusing, which is why I'm so excited to walk you guys through creating an actual idea pin together. Okay, let's go ahead and walk through how you're going to create an idea pin. Click that little plus sign at the bottom and you are going to select the option idea pin. From there, you're going to be able to pull through the videos that you want to create this idea pin from. So as you can see on this home little page, you're able to start adding in text, you can do music, audio, and what's really exciting about the text is that you can actually control and play around with the different fonts. Now with this text, we want to make sure that we are utilizing the correct keywords for our idea pin, so we're going to show up inside of the correct searches. So once you start to build out that text, you can pick a font that matches your branded fonts. You can also pick a color. You can either select one of their options or you can also do a picker from the actual video itself. So what we're going to do is actually make it so this text doesn't play out for the entire idea pin since we're highlighting two different products. So our first text is set. Now we're going to build out another set of text that's really going to capture that ideal customer. We're going to go through the same process of selecting the color, and then we're going to dive down into the duration after we decide exactly where it should go. As you can see, we can also make it smaller or bigger depending on how the video is set up. So we are going to edit this text and make sure that it's just popping up on the second video inside of the idea pin. Okay, our text is set. We've picked our song of choice. Now it's important for us to start to build out this note. This is where you are going to add your URL to the product. So this is going to be your website link that goes back to the exact product. You're going to click a related board, and then we love to pull in 10 tags specific to your idea pin. You're going to have to play around a little bit between what's trending now, so like summer parties, summer birthdays, and find those correct tags that is really going to speak to your ideal customer and get your content in front of the right people. Once you have your 10 tags, we're going to just simply click done, and then we can either switch to allow comments or not. Okay, awesome. Now that we know how idea pins work, let's talk about how you can start to monetize them. So we know how to create idea pins. Now let's dive into this process of monetizing them. And that really starts with inspiring action. When you pick your topic, it's important to ensure that your reader is interested in it. So what does that mean? That means that we're following up on the correct trends, what's trending, and how can we really bring this to life and provide that inspiration for the pinner. It's also important to have a why. Why are you sharing this story? Is it a highlight? Is it highlighting your product, an outfit? Are you inspiring action? Whatever it might be, it's so important that we do have that why. As we can see these two examples on the right-hand side, one is an idea pin that was all around different spring maxi dresses. So inside of that notes portion, we were able to direct users to shop the outfit. So we were giving them that inspiration, and then we were directing them to the link where they could easily make that purchase. Versus the example on the right-hand side where we were really taking people through a how to make easy smoothie bowls, and then we were directing them to a blog post that had everything outlined for them as well as the products that they needed. So those are two examples of how you can start to monetize your idea pins. Two examples, two different ways and funnels that we are really directing people from an idea pin to that purchase. One is to the product directly. The other one is really nurturing them more through a blog post. So now that we know how idea pins work, how to monetize them, let's dive into what's trending on Pinterest. See, in order to create content that really resonates with our ideal customer, it's important to know what's currently trending. And so we have seen a huge upward trend in supporting small businesses. In addition to some more supporting small businesses, here are some trends taking place on Pinterest. There's a fitness reboot, healthy foods. Gardens are out of control on Pinterest, from gardening tips, how to start a garden, and everything that you need to buy before actually creating your garden. It's a wild world on Pinterest in the gardening space. Road trip tips, mental well-being quotes, and yoga meditation. See, these are just a very, very small amount of some of the trends we are seeing. If you actually jump onto our Instagram account, we released an entire updated trends report. So you guys have the latest information into what is trending on the platform right now. Okay, and this is what you guys have been waiting for. How can we use Pinterest to drive sales for your e-commerce business? One of the ways you can utilize Pinterest to really drive sales is through shoppable pins. So what is a shoppable pin and how do you create one? As you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, there is an actual tab that is a shopping tab. And so when you're starting to type in, for instance, like spring break clothes, we can either explore all of these inspirational posts that may or may not take us back to a product, or we can just toggle over to the shopping tab. And see, this is where your shoppable posts and your shoppable pins are going to be populating, because it makes it so clear to that user that they can instantly shop the pin. So in order to create a shoppable pin, you're going to upload your catalog into Pinterest. And if you don't have the capability of doing that, there's no sweat at all. When you're uploading your pin, all you're simply going to do is actually add the product and a product tag into that pin. Shoppable pins are an amazing way to drive immediate sales to your platform of choice. So to your site, your Etsy account, even getting people back to your Instagram, wherever your conversions are taking place, shoppable pins are truly that engine that's driving that traffic for you. The other big thing that we're seeing on Pinterest is that you need to have a clear call to action. Just throwing up a photo and hoping that people buy isn't going to cut it anymore. What you need to do now is make it very clear to someone why they should leave Pinterest and go to your link. What are they going to get off of it? Are you going to solve this problem that they have? Whatever it might be, making it super clear to the audience that you're going to be able to serve them on the other side is the most important thing you can do right now in the Pinterest space. How are you feeling? Drop in the chat how you're feeling about Pinterest, utilizing it to really drive qualified traffic and sales to your site. I know we've covered a lot. We have really dove deep into how Pinterest operates, the proper trends, keywords, and then what some of these funnels look like on the Pinterest platform, how we can capture our ideal customer through that idea pin and then funnel them to either the product or the blog post. I think sometimes we try and make this whole sales process really complicated, and at the end of the day, people just want to buy, like they want to buy from you. They just need to know that they can buy from you. As promised, we have action steps for you. We want you guys to be able to leave this training and take immediate action. Your time is valuable, and we cannot thank you enough for really carving out 45 minutes of your day today to learn how you can grow your business more. So what steps can you take after this training? The first one you can do is convert your Pinterest to a business account. This is where you are going to get all of the information, analytics that you need to make sure that you are creating content for your ideal customer. You're also going to want to claim your accounts. So your Etsy, you're going to want to link it with your Shopify, claim your website, your Instagram, whatever social channels you're utilizing, because this is going to show Pinterest that you have qualified sites that you're sending traffic to. You're then going to want to optimize your account with the proper keywords, what we really talked about at the beginning of this training, and then start consistently posting content on Pinterest. As we previously mentioned at the beginning, I am so excited to introduce you to your newest sales team member. See, inside of the pin method, we dive into not only how to set up your Pinterest account correctly, but we give you the exact strategies and processes that we use to drive 5-figure sales months for our clients. We're going to walk you through how to create images that convert, keywords, SEO, and how to understand your Pinterest analytics. And just to make the pot even sweeter, we are dropping in 4 brand new modules next week. These are all designed to help you start with a foundation and then scale. So if you are wanting to run Pinterest ads and you don't want to spend a lot of money on an expensive agency, you're going to have an entire module that walks you through that. We're also including some amazing bonuses. How to create 30 days of content in 5 days, an additional course on how to utilize Lightroom, 35 pin graphic templates, and daily support inside of the private Facebook community. Our team is in there every single day answering your questions and doing pop-up trainings just for our members. Now, we are firm believers that if you are here and you're learning and you're ready to take action, you should be rewarded for the time that you have put into this training today. So the next 3 students who sign up for the pin method plus group training will automatically receive a 45-minute strategy call with myself. You're also going to receive our Pinterest content calendar template. This is what we use to make an entire monthly strategy for our clients. We know where we're going to be sending them, what keywords, and it's just broken down in a really easy to digest format. So whether you have an entire team that you are leading, if you're trying to utilize Pinterest for your clients, this is a great tool to keep everything organized. All right, friends, now I'm going to go ahead and jump into the chat and start answering some of your questions. If you had anything that was jumping up during this, please go ahead, drop them in the chat. We have some time to really dive into your questions and get all of this clarified. I'm so glad to hear that stuff was starting to make sense, Sophie. That is awesome, and that is the main purpose of this training, is to really clarify Pinterest for you. Yay, I am so excited. You guys can't wait to figure out how to create shoppable pins. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, we have an entire new module. Well, we have 4 new modules that's going to be dropping, and they are all around how you can really drive sales through shoppable pins, how to upload your catalog, and just make this entire process with Pinterest super clear as an e-commerce business. All right, friends, I am scouring the chat. If you have any questions that are coming up, like I said, drop them in there. And thank you guys so much for being here today. It was so much fun diving into Pinterest with you. Like I said, the next 3 people who jump into the pin method will receive a one-on-one strategy call with myself, where we will dive into your business, how you can utilize Pinterest to drive more sales. And I'm going to give you a lot of insight into what we're doing for our clients to generate those 5- and 6-figure sales months for them, without ads and with Pinterest. We would love to connect with you after this training over on Instagram. If you have any questions that come up, let us know over there. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much again for being here.